Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Rolling Through Life. My name is Wanda, and I'm a little late, but it's time for our daily devotions. Today is January 18th, 2019, and the read for today is Matthew 26, 30 through 56. The Willing Spirit. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Matthew 26:41. Jesus had begun to be sorrowful and very heavy. With his intense suffering and the cross immediately before him, he needed to commit himself to God for strength to endure. His apparent desire for companionship moved him to take Peter, James, and John near to the place where he would pour out his heart and fervent prayer to his Father. When Jesus returned to the trio of disciples, they had given into the weakness of flesh, mortal body, and had fallen asleep. He would find no moral support from these drowsy men. Then the scene repeated itself all over again, and a third time. Like the disciples, we battle with our physical limitations. Excuse me. By what Jesus said in today's key verse, we conclude that these three men were willing to stay awake out of concern for their agonizing Lord, but they failed to watch and pray with the intensity needed to keep vigil and to be there for the Master. The disciples' weakness is further evident that in that later they all forsook him and fled. Fervent watching and praying is as needful for today as it was for the disciples. Anything less will leave us spiritually lethargic and unable to gain victory over sin. But we have less excuse than the disciples had. After Pentecost, when the Holy Spirit was poured out to indwell the believers, we note a greater degree of victory in the disciples' lives. As obedient followers of Christ, we have this same Spirit. He will help us if we are fully dedicated to living for Christ. Daily Bible reading and prayer, along with the fellowship with true believers, are imperative for the willing spirit to prevail over the weakness of the flesh. May we never neglect these. For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if ye live through the Spirit, do mortify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. Romans 8:13. The one-year Bible reading plan is Matthew 13:33 through 58 and Genesis 42 to 43. There are times that I give into the flesh, whether it be thinking, doing, whatever. And we all have a habit of getting so busy that we forget that we have to pray on a constant basis. Whether we're driving, working, whatever, we're constantly in that mode of praying. That's why a lot of religions wear some kind of headgear, whether bandana or bonnet, whatever. It's to remind them to keep praying. And a lot of us in the religions today, if we're not part of a sect or whatever, and I hate to say sect because you would think that's cults, but not necessarily. We're not in these individual groups that do the same things. Every person's the same. We are all different in the world, basically. And so we don't have a headgear or our Bible with us every day. But you know what? Maybe we should. Maybe we should wear something on the outside or carry our Bible to show the inside, to show that we're always praying. We're always working for God. It's so easy when we get in difficult situations to hide that we're a believer. We just ignore somebody, or it's just so easy to hide from that if we feel threatened. So maybe we should have some kind of outward thing to show people of who we do follow. It's interesting. I mean, I don't really think that's where this passage was going, but we have to keep praying all the time. Not to say that we don't have to do what we have to do. I know people, they drive to work and that's where they pray. You know, they're doing their dishes, they pray. And that's what we kind of need to get into. There's some food for thought for you. All right. So I want to tell you guys to have a great day, and I will try to be on time tomorrow. So I'll see y'all later. Bye.